This is the Two of Swords. And it is upside down. So it does feel, when the Two of Swords is there, it encourages us to kind of pull off that blindfold, look at things how they truly are, or make a decision that you're not making. It is upside down. So it does look like you've got clarity in mind, that you have made a very difficult decision or are planning on it, looking at things honestly and communicating about them, because this way it's like holding your cards close to your chest, kind of protecting yourself, not looking at this and not making a decision. It could be kind of an inertia, but it is upside down, so it does look like you have made some decisions to release some responsibilities or communicate things about changing some responsibilities. So that's a good thing. And what crosses you, it looks like this is the Four of Cups. So it does look like you may be focusing on something that was a disappointment to you, kind of holding in a little bit, the arms crossed over the chest. Feels like you might have withdrawn from either family members, friends, or someone that you have had maybe a little staticky communication with, but it does look like you have pulled back your energy and you're regrouping. It does feel like there's something right in front of you, so pay attention to the things that are right in front of you. This does feel like a positive move towards this choice or communication that you have made your decision on, but it does look like you had some expectations or some betrayal, something where you really held something quite dearly and you were disappointed about it. So this can be the card of great disappointment. It does cross you, so it probably did have something to do with the communication that you have just experienced, or the decision that you have just come to a decision. What is above you? This is the Six. This is the Six of Pentacles, and Pentacles are about material things. They can also be about money. And as you see, he's gifting. So it may, this does feel like be very aware of over gifting. It does look like people have come to you to fix their problems, and you have freely done that in the past, but it does look like it has caused you some problems. So make sure all of your stuff is taken care of before you gift anything to anyone, whether it's time, money, or property. It does feel like someone is kind of hanging on you. This can be more than one person, and it's kind of kicking you out of balance a little bit. And it does feel like you might have gifted somebody some money and they didn't give it back to you in time, or not at all. But it does feel like there's something to do with money, possessions, and time. So it does feel like that you're being a little more discerning on who you gift to, and who is good for their word and who isn't. But it does feel like there's some anger involved with this. So someone may have borrowed a sum of money, whether it's large or small, and then kind of forgotten about it. I'm feeling that it may have something to do with money, but someone or a group of people are kind of taking your efforts for granted, that you're always going to fix their problems. So be very discerning. Can they fix their problems themselves? Sometimes the best way to learn is by picking ourselves up and creating what we need, instead of running to mom and dad or aunt and uncle or whoever to fix it for us. So it does look like there's a lot of capable adults that are just hanging on you, sweet Pisces, and it's time for them to do their own work. So the Sun is here. This is new beginnings. This can be great ideas. Kind of the baby is naked here, so it does feel like you've had to release a lot of things, maybe some responsibilities that weren't really yours to begin with, and refocus on yourself. Kind of a new day. The Sun is like a new day and new experiences. So it does look like you are shifting from kind of over helpful over helpfulitis, Pisces, into really helping yourself, making your dreams come true, and saving for a rainy day. It does not look like you've been able to do that because it feels like you've had quite a draw or a drain on your finances and your time. So it does look like this shift with this communication has really brought your focus back to center, back to you and what your dreams and desires are. And this sun is kind of shining for me that there is a new project, could be art, writing, something that is like a gift from your heart, that it doesn't have anything to do with work, but it's something that gives you great joy and great pleasure, that it feels like you really haven't had much chance to embrace or to start. So this does look like you have started and you've made a commitment to celebrating your gifts a little bit, whether it's writing, dancing, painting, drawing, whatever it is, tarot, whatever it is. It does look like you have made now a new commitment to your passions, not just cleaning up everybody else's messes. So the next one in the present time is also a 2. So it does feel like you have 2 2s and 2 3s. So it does feel like you are trying to find your balance, that you might have been imbalanced for a while due to helping everybody else. But it does feel like now you are refocusing on what your dreams, hopes, and desires are. This key is standing out for me, or this family crest is standing out for me. So it does feel like you are minimizing some of your interaction with family members, or that you are speaking about your needs instead of just listening to others. It does feel like you are waiting for something right now, and that you are making some new decisions. These wands usually dictate fire and motion. It does feel like you're looking at the world here. So travel may be involved, but it does look like you are now evaluating things in your life. What do you really want to do? You know, instead of giving that extra money to somebody to pay their car payment, they signed up to pay their car payment, let them do it. It's time for you, Pisces, to save for your wildest dreams. I do feel some foreign travel. I'm feeling, well, it's near water, and Japan is popping out, but so is Europe. So I know I'm doing this for all Pisces, so that may not pertain to you, but it does feel like you're looking at some travel and you're looking at some of your wildest dreams, bucket list items, now that you are not cleaning up other people's stuff anymore. But it does look like you are going through some things, minimizing your responsibilities. You may be even physically cleaning out your own closet, painting a house, kind of doing upgrades, and just kind of looking at the things that are important in your life and the things that are no longer important in your life. So you're doing some selective regrouping is what it feels like. The card in the future position is the 3 of Swords. This is kind of an ugly one. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad one, but it does mean that someone has either lied to you, betrayed you, stolen from you, and it can be an affair as well. But it does feel like whatever this situation was kind of brought you to make these much needed changes. So unfortunately it does feel like it got to a breaking point. So it feels like you're still reeling from this betrayal, whatever that was, whether it was an affair by your partner, your family members lying to you, somebody taking money and not returning it. But it does feel like a betrayal that really hurts you in the heart, because you do everything with such a great, big, loving, unconditional heart, Pisces, that this was just a huge slap in the face. So be very careful that you are honoring your body, honoring yourself, taking care of yourself. This may reflect on your either mental health or your physical health. I am feeling something about the support structure, so I'm seeing the spine. So the stress may affect you either in the head or in the spine, whether it is emotional pain or physical pain. So I encourage you to, follow your medical recommendations, take good care of yourself, eat right, sleep right, get a little exercise at this time, especially with all three of these planets going backwards. It's an extra pull, and sometimes we're just pissed off when we put our feet on the floor when these planets are kind of hanging out like they are. So just be kind to yourself and try to make your words as gentle as possible during this time. But ultimately, put yourself first, Pisces. I know you're not used to doing that, but in order for you to help the rest of the world, you have to be healthy, happy and healthy. So that's what the main focus looks like this month, Pisces. The Hierophant is at the bottom here for many of you that are religious. This can be reconnecting with the god or goddess of your heart, or just finding quiet space to meditate, and for those of you that do not walk in the religious with the religious umbrella, it can just be making a commitment to your mental health, hugging a tree, whatever your god is. But it does look like you're incorporating your faith, not only in yourself, but in the journey a little bit more clearly. So the next one is the Empress. The Empress, she's about nurturing, planting those seeds and watching things grow. She can stand for pregnancy, whether it is planned or unplanned. So for those of you that would like to embrace that this is a great time. For those of you who don't, birth control is a wonderful thing. But the Empress in general means planting seeds and watching them grow. So you do have the sun here. So it does feel like you have either new projects happening, new art projects, new classes, things like that. Learning something new and putting it out in the world and putting your energy into it, kind of nurturing it till it's growing and healthy and wonderful. So put a little energy into your endeavors right now. So the Empress is right here to remind you to give to yourself and watch things grow. But it also can mean pregnancy for those of you who are interested in that. The Ace of Swords is here, and aces are God cards, really, or hand of God. These are things that are meant to be. These are karma things. Swords are about communication, intellect, speaking our truth. But it does look like something very important. Some meeting of the minds is very important. So this may be gathering the family. This may be gathering at work. But this does look like you have something important to share and that it's time to make some of these changes. But it does look like Spirit's coming in and making those changes for you anyway. So you might as well get on the board here and speak to who you need to speak to either release yourself from holding things inside. The crown is lighting up for me. It does feel like good will come of this communication, good will come of this meeting, and will relieve you of some responsibilities that really weren't yours in the first place. So have those discussions. Have those discussions if you need to, or finalize things that have been hanging in limbo. So if it's about signing a piece of paper, it's about making a final decision. But the hand of God is right here, so it does feel like something sudden has made all the difference in facilitating some of this change that you've been meaning to do for a while, or some of the communication that you've been meaning to do for a while. But swords really are destinies. Those are the things that are supposed to happen. So if there's something you've been ignoring for a while, it's going to happen anyway, because the karma card is here and the karma planet is happening. So it's really time to move that energy and do the hard work right now and speak the hard speak, but with kindness and love. The King of Wands is here. Kings can be about completion. This also can be a person. Wands are fire signs, action signs. That's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It doesn't necessarily have to be a male person because it's in a king body. It does feel like it's a person, actually. So it does feel like you may be changing the rules, changing the game, to better yourself, and maybe reallocating some power, some money, But this King of Wands is basically about wealth and influence. And it's also about being fair-minded and honest. So you may need to be fair-minded and honest with someone that you have been having some of this dissonance with. But it is at the forefront here, so it does feel like it's something that's urgent. So it's time to let people know what's going on and to kind of confront stuff that haven't been working for you. You may have already confronted them, Pisces, because there's a lot of stuff in the past over here. But the main focus is kind of being equal, finding equity with love and kindness, either making separations or building what you're building together stronger. But it takes some real honest communication here. And some fair-mindedness on both parts, or all the parts in this process. The Hangman is on the other side here. So this, the Hangman is basically it's the same life we're living, but your perspective have changed. You've had an aha moment. So life is completely different, even though it is the same as it was yesterday. So it's just your perspective that has shifted. So it does look like you're incorporating these changes a little bit more on the daily. And it does look like you kind of hit an impasse. You kind of hit a breaking point that it can't continue like this any longer. So there are some changes. And, with this in the stabbing in the heart, it could very well be a relationship that has gone awry, or that just needs some clearer communication, or distribution of chores, or distribution of money. But the equality is coming out really strong from Spirit. It's time to be equal. You do not have to take all of this load on your shoulders anymore, Pisces, and it's time to allocate different things to other people. Let them handle their own responsibilities. And that seems like the aha moment for you. It's like, oh, I'm killing myself. I'm getting heartburn. I've created colds, or I'm not paying attention. I'm letting things slip. So all those built up until you couldn't take it anymore is what it's feeling like, Pisces. The King of Pentacles is here on the other side. And Pentacles are about money, material things, emotions. This is about being mature and having courage to make those changes. So I think the King is there to remind you just to be courageous and do the hard work. You've kind of put it off for quite a while. It can no longer wait. It's right in your face. If this is a person, the Pentacles are earth signs. That's Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And this is also feeling like this may be an advisor or someone that you trust with issues that never have steered you wrong. But it does look like you've kind of held this stuff for a long time, so it's okay to reach out and get some other advice from a wise advisor, someone that wouldn't steer you wrong. So it's really about worldly power and success as well. So get some advice. Ask for help if you need it, just to get clarity. Pisces, you guys are very, very capable. But it does look like you may need a little extra help in kind of enforcing these changes for yourself. So that is a general reading, Pisces, for the month of May. I'm going to throw a couple of these karma cards. These karma cards. This could be chakra cards. No, sorry, past life cards. These are past life cards. I've been using so many different ones, can't remember which one's which. So, and these are all about one word. So they kind of bring it on home. Authority figures. Let's see what the other one is. And biblical. So it does look like trust your faith in yourself. And the higher power, if you have one, if you embrace that one, trust what is in your first mind. We all have a part of that essence, that spiritual essence in us. So trust that. Authority figures too, feels like you may be meeting with people of authority. If you are releasing a relationship, that could be a lawyer. It could be you're dealing with the IRS. So it does feel like right at this time that you're trying to get things balanced, but you're having to deal with some authority figures.